One of the fallouts of an increasingly uncertain business scenario and 24/7 global connectivity at the workplace is the pressure to overwork employees, to stretch work hours beyond the normal schedule. As a fresher, corporate culture and work can be overwhelming at times, but if that leads you to feel constant stress, helplessness, disillusioned, and completely exhausted, you may be on the road to burnout.
When you talk to people about how to avoid burnout, they will give you a lot of ideas, etc. But what's important to know is, are you heading towards it? How do you identify the signs?
A lot of people are definitely equipped to kind of identify themselves, but some of us are not, and I learned it the hard way. I learned it when I started stuttering in front of my manager after days and days of lots of tension, lots of really hard work that was going into a particular project that I was working on with my team.
I distinctly remember this particular situation, very stressful one, where there was a lot of work happening in my organization, and I would come back to a friend of mine and kind of tell him about what was happening and how things were moving, etc. And this person kept telling me after the first few months that I was heading towards a burnout, and this person kept telling me to take a break. I did not take that seriously. Ended up one day literally stuttering while talking to someone, and that's when I realized that things were getting to a level where they had to be sorted out. And that's when I kind of took a break.
In hindsight, what I think could have stopped me from reaching that stage is having someone I could talk to very openly. How did I correct that mistake of not having those people is by having two people, one outside of work and one within the workplace. Having someone within the workplace is great because they know the organization, they know the people you're talking about. You don't have to build their knowledge ground upwards. However, having them in the same team could have challenges, but if you don't have an option, they're good to have somebody whom you can use as a sounding board, like I use currently. But you need to ensure that you have great rapport with them. Having somebody from outside your team kind of ensures that there are no conflict of interests that are happening, and that the stuff that you tell them is kind of taken in its right spirit and is kept confidential. Having somebody on the outside of work gets you a different perspective because their views are not clouded by the views that the person within the organization has. And having somebody to talk to actually takes off a lot of pressure. Not only that, these people can act as flag bearers and red flag you when you're heading towards a burnout, telling you to take a break or whatever is needed to address the issue. So that's one I would suggest. The other big suggestion that I have is having a coach. Working with a coach kind of helps you amplify and see what's happening around you, things that you would have otherwise missed. A coach, by their non-judgmental questioning, kind of helps you uncover issues or challenges or solutions that you would have not otherwise had.
Did you know, according to a recent study conducted by Gallup of 7,500 full-time employees, 23% of employees reported feeling burned out at work very often or always. An additional 44% reported feeling burned out sometimes, meaning about 2/3 of full-time workers experience burnout on the job.
Do remember that burnout does not happen only because of work-related issues. Burnout also happens if you're stretching yourself too much at the personal level. So just kind of be aware of that issue, that challenge, that burnout can happen outside of the workplace also.